Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a 30-ounce tumbler that we're going to be working on, and we're going to do something a little different. We're not using glitter, we're using sand. Yes, ocean sand. So I want to get this cup started because I'm excited.
All right, so we took it outside, we did our spray paint, we prepped our cup already. So now we're on the turner and we're going to start applying our sand. I did mix the epoxy equal 30 mil A and B and stirred it thoroughly, making sure that it's clear and, go kind of slow so you don't get a lot of bubbles. But you can heat gun and torch it or whatever you need to do to get the bubbles out if that's the case. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply a thin layer, but I'm going to actually make it like a medium thickness. That way I can get a lot of glitter on it. Sand on it, because we're not using glitter this time. We're using sand. So this sand is actually store-bought. It's not from the beach. You can use sand from the beach, but I just went ahead and bought a little bag of sand to make this cup, and you'll have to go through it and making sure that there's nothing in it that you don't want on your cup. So you're just going to go ahead and just keep applying your epoxy. Make sure it's evenly coated, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start sprinkling on our sand. Okay, so we let this spin on the turner overnight and let it completely cure. Dry sanding would be the next step after it's completely dry. So here I've already sanded down, made sure it was nice and smooth. I didn't have to do a whole lot of sanding, which was nice because I put a medium coat of the epoxy on it. But we are going to go ahead and start putting our decals on it. Okay, so the decal that we're going to use for this is a Jeep decal, and this is going to be for Jeep Beach 2021. So I'm going to put this decal on the top. I noticed that the decal is a little hard to read where the words are. So what I did, I didn't do this on camera or anything, but I went ahead and double layered it so that it's a little bit darker. I didn't do the actual Jeep part double layered. I just did some wording. So I cut through the words that needed to be brighter. You'll see that at the end. But, excuse me, but I just wanted to, you know, let you guys know that that's what I did at the end because it's really hard to read. And it turned out really good, but make sure that you guys watch through the rest of the video and you'll see exactly how it turned out. So here I'm showing you guys some molds that I made. These are like mold tumblers, and I used the UV glitter that I have, and it turned out so pretty. And so I made pop sockets, and I'm gonna be giving those away. There's another one that I made with some red glitter, like burgundy glitter, some alcohol ink, some acrylic paint, and I had some extra when I was making cups, so I just went ahead and made some molds, and I wanted to share them with you guys. They turned out so cute, and if you take them out in the light, they turn different colors, like the UV, like this one on the white. On the top, it turns, I believe that one was purple. So I'm letting this soak, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a try and see if it's ready to come off. So water slides are, they just pull right off very easy, but you do have to be very careful because they can rip very easily. You always spray them with Rust-Oleum. I usually do 2 to 3 coats. It depends on what kind of cup. So this is a 30 ounce, so it's got curve to it. I only do 2 coats of the clear spray because I don't want it to be crispy. I want it to be flexible, and if you put too much, it will crack. So if you put like 2 spray coats, usually it's pretty good to where it's flexible and it won't crease and make like a cracking. It's almost like crackers. Like if you bend it a certain way, it'll start cracking. That's just the best way I can explain it. But I think it's so cute. I love how it turned out on this, you know, sand so-called glitter. But you know, it's something different. Have some fun and experiment. You know, you don't have to stick with the same old glitter, but you can try different things on your cups and see how they turn out. So I'm hoping that, you know, if anybody likes this or they try it, that they can link me in it so that I can see how it turned out or send me a picture. But so now I'm just taking a dry paper towel and I'm going to blot it, getting all the water, pushing the water from underneath out of the water slides so that it will completely dry. Once it's dry, then we'll apply our coat of epoxy. And I usually apply 2 coats of epoxy just to make sure that it's sealed really well and you don't have to worry about your decals coming off or it being too thin. All right, so now that we've gotten our decals, the water slides on both sides, we're gonna go ahead and apply the name to the bottom of the cup and make sure you're pressing nice and smooth so that way it doesn't come up. So I usually let them dry just maybe 20-30 minutes, and then I will start applying our epoxy on it and letting it sit for 24 hours is my go-to time, because then I know for sure that it's completely cured and I can give it to my customers and I don't have to worry about it getting messed up from touching it, using it. All right, so here I wanted to show you, this is after I've applied double layers on certain parts of it. I've not finished it, but it's completely dry, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of my water slide to certain parts of it before I put it on the turner. But here I went ahead and put it on the turner, and it looks a lot better. Like, you can see what it says. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my epoxy turned, mixed. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Anyways, get it mixed up really well. So what I did was this 30 mil of A and B of epoxy. I'm turning it kind of slow because I don't want to get a whole lot of bubbles, because I want this epoxy to stick on here. I want it as thick as I can, only because I don't want to have to add too many layers of epoxy to this. So I'm stirring it slow until it is completely clear. And now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to apply it. We're going to rub it thoroughly all over this cup. It's so pretty. I love it. It's a different, something different. And we love to go to the beach, so why not use some beach sand? You can use whatever you want. I've actually also made a tumbler using sand, making like a beach cup with the sunset and everything. So you could do that. So you just add sand to the bottom part of, instead of using a gold glitter for the sand, you would actually use sand. I probably will do a video on that. It turned out really good. That's actually one of my favorite cups that I've made. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply, make sure you're rubbing it in really well. If there's any crevices, which my cup was pretty smooth, but just make sure you're rubbing it, getting from top to bottom, making sure it's even coated. Get your bottom of your cup really well. And yeah, so you're just going to go ahead and you're going to let this dry overnight, let it turn. You're going to take your heat gun to it, make sure you get all the bubbles out of it. So what I usually do is I let it turn for a few minutes before I hit the heat on it, because what happens is as soon as you hit heat, especially if you're using a heat gun instead of a torch, you will actually just heat it up, and all of your epoxy will just start dripping off of it. So let it kind of thicken up a little bit and then use your heat gun. If you're using a torch, it's not as hot as a heat gun. I think the heat guns get hotter than the torch does. It gives a wider range of hotness to your tumbler. So that's just my opinion. I prefer a heat torch, but I have been out of my refills and the store has been out of it. So I have actually been using my my heat gun. So I just prefer the torch. But anyway, so you want to do it as quickly as you can. You don't need to do it a whole lot, just enough to where it pops the bubbles and it gets your epoxy kind of warmed up, moving around, and then those bubbles will start, popping on their own. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this channel. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you click the like button. If you could please do me a favor and share this video. See ya.